my day. The greatest authorities in academia and the scientific community are on my side. As I said, I merely started brush fires, and they have turned into a great conflagration in the 20th century and the 21st century. You, sir, are still clinging to an ancient myth. Mr. Calvin, your concluding remarks, please, sir.
Yes. Monsieur Darwin, you deserve the elevation of man's reason. And you have followed that rebel Aristotle, pressing only in what you can see, feel, touch, smell, and taste. And as you have rightly admitted, there are many things that you don't know and may never know, and that there are others who know these things different from you, sir. So you must admit, in your humility, if there is some, that God is part of the world and this reality. I would assert such things. That God exists. He has made himself evident through his creation. And he uses the wisdom of the wise to show forth his power and his authority through time. Listen to the reading in 1 Corinthians where the apostle says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will cast away the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made the wisdom of this world foolishness? But God has chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound mighty things. But to them who are called, both of the Jews and the Gentiles, will we preach Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. You've exerted great length of time. This is a mere assumption. You have never answered my question. Were you there? You assert rejection of the worldwide flood. Yet there's abundant evidence. You just see it in a different light, sir. And if you would change your assumptions, you would see things differently. You insist in the survival of the fittest. But I would assert instead that there's been wreck and ruin by believing such things. And instead, in its place, we affirm the majesty and the beauty and the complexity of all of God's creation. You insist, sir, that transitional creatures are required, and then say that you found no such creatures. And indeed, it appears apparent that there are none. You insist, sir, that death before sin, but the Holy Bible says otherwise. And finally, sir, you insist in an anti-supernatural bias, that I would simply say, sir, that the authority and the historicity of the Scriptures proves itself time and over again. For that man who is enlightened by the Holy Spirit, who understands these things spiritually, and that is my prayer for you, sir, that you would come to know these things.
Preachers. Our debate has now come to a conclusion. I thank you very much, Mr. Darwin. I thank you very much, Mr. Calvin. Both of you have traveled long journeys to be here. And ladies and gentlemen of the audience, you have now been witness to two of the most influential men of the last millennium sharing with us their thoughts on fundamental issues of faith, and science, and ethics. And now we set it before you, the audience, to weigh the arguments presented by both of our contenders. We'll ask you to determine which individual most persuasively stated his case. And at the outset, I'd like to request a great respect demonstrated to both of these men, given the long distance they have traveled to be with us, and they are not likely to return in the foreseeable future. We've been informed that their comments tonight stand as a final commentary and a tribute to the worldviews which they espoused during their own generations. And so we'll gauge the winner based on audience applause response. So now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please participate with me in our audience response. I will first turn to Mr. Darwin. Secondly, I will turn to Mr. Calvin, and we'll base the winner on the response from you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that believe that Mr. Darwin made the most persuasive arguments tonight, could I please hear applause for Mr. Darwin? Those of you that would favor Mr. Calvin, Mr. Calvin. Our winner this evening is Mr. Calvin, and the great debate of the millennium has concluded. Thank you for joining us.